My name is Sarah Waters. I've been married for 4 years, but it's the second marriage for my husband. He has a high school-aged son named Mike, who is right in the middle of his rebellious phase. No matter how kind I am, he just won't accept me. Susan is living with her grandson Mike, but she's spoiling him terribly. Hey, Susan is incredibly indulgent with Mike. She buys him anything he wants. Isn't that fine? My husband, who grew up being pampered himself, seems to think this is normal and doesn't see anything wrong with it. As a result, I'm treated more like a household employee. But we're not exactly living in luxury, and it's quite a struggle. Susan, you left the lights on again. So? It would help if you could turn them off. It saves on the electricity bill. That's not a big deal, is it? But the electricity bill is. If it bothers you that much, you turn them off. No need to mention it every time. You really have a bad attitude. This isn't about my attitude. It's about hers. After all, my husband is just a regular office worker. Of course, I work too, but we need to save as much as we can for Mike's potential college expenses. Mike, you left the faucet running. Could you use a basin to wash your face? Man, you're annoying. It's not a big deal. You always sweat the small stuff. No matter what I say, these two don't care. I thought about asking my husband to talk to them, but he's not much better. He says sorry when I point things out, but he doesn't seem to have any intention of changing. And at dinner, what's this? Leftovers from yesterday? Mike gets in a bad mood if he doesn't see freshly made dishes every time. This was made today. I want all new dishes. And there should be 3. Otherwise, it just doesn't feel right. He's so picky about his meals, it's like dealing with a prince. Then my mother-in-law chimes in. That's right. Serving leftovers is just laziness on the part of a housewife. Cooking is a basic duty, after all. But it's wasteful not to eat leftovers. If you think it's wasteful, you eat them. Don't make Mike eat leftovers. And that goes for my son too. And what's with this dish? Is it made from vegetable scraps? I made it from vegetable peels. That's so stingy. It just screams poverty. You're not supposed to use vegetable peels. They're nutritious. It's another dish if you use them. Why do you have to be so poor? It's like you're saying my son's salary is low, so you have to do this. That's not true. But yes, we are trying to save money. Oh yeah, for cooking, make sure to buy and use the expensive bottled water. Ever since you came, the meals have been awful. I thought tap water should be just fine, especially since it's boiled. What is she even thinking? Oh, and about the tub. There's grime floating in it after you shower. Is it dirty? Yes. It's always like this. Even when I try to make a light lunch, she doesn't like it and ends up taking Mike to a restaurant. Because of this, Susan's allowance runs out fast, and she starts asking me for money. I thought I just gave you some. That was gone in no time. Plus, it was so little, I can't buy the things Mike wants. You might not care since he's not your kid, but to me, he's my dear grandson. I want to buy him everything he desires, since you won't. Such sarcasm. One day, the topic of building a house came up. Of course, I was against it, but they wouldn't listen. It's fine. We can just leave the mortgage for Mike's generation. That seemed unfair. Right, as long as Mike inherits it, no problem at all. Neither my husband Kyle nor Susan seemed to think it was unfair. But we're barely saving a little as it is. Whoa. You've got savings? That's awesome. No worries, then. Kyle just didn't understand. And eventually, the new house was built. Life's tough enough, and now we'll have a mortgage. I couldn't bear the thought of more sacrifices for this family. They were all dreaming about life in the new house, not considering my feelings. Then, on moving day, Mike and Susan said to me, take care of all the housework and give us our allowance every week. And cover part of the rent, too. I couldn't believe it and finally spoke up. I'll pass. What? I'll pass on what? Backing out of being a maid now? Please. I had a feeling they treated me like a maid, but hearing it directly was too much. I'm not part of this family, so I won't be moving to the new house. What? Who's going to cook then? Yeah. And who'll clean? Do it yourself. Huh, what a foolish woman. We thought we'd take you as a substitute maid. Really? What a waste for the new house. Well, do this last thing for us. Carry all these boxes to the new house. Joking again. Who'd do that? Carry your own boxes. How rude. After all the patience we've shown, now you get all high and mighty about moving? Grandma, it's fine. We'll be rid of her. No more nagging about saving money. That's true. But where will you live? This apartment's a rental. Once my son moves, you can't stay here. Don't worry. I've found a place that suits me. You've been looking? You planned this from the start? Yes. No matter how hard I tried, you never understood. I don't want to be at your mercy anymore. Does Kyle know? He doesn't. But I've reached my limit. Well, we don't need you. It's a relief you're leaving. So, the selfish son and his doting mother moved out with their belongings. Once they were gone, I started moving to my new place. A small apartment, peaceful and within my budget. No more complaints about saving money. Such a stress-free life. But that night, I got a call from Kyle. Sarah, what's going on? Oh, welcome back. Not welcome back. I was shocked to come home from work and find you gone. Sorry, I'm not going to that house. Why not? I just can't agree with your way of thinking. What do you mean you can't agree? We're a married couple. This is like separation. Yes, I guess it is. It's not I guess it is. Not moving together, without any discussion. Yeah, we didn't discuss it. That's what I mean. Why go ahead without discussing it with me? There were a lot of things. I tried talking to you about them sometimes, but you never really paid attention. Did that really happen? It did. Like how no matter how much I save, no one helps. That's not really something to discuss. And it's too trivial. Trivial? Isn't it important for our household budget? Why? We're able to save, aren't we? It's not a problem. It was necessary for saving. And you call it trivial? Ah. Sorry. It's not trivial to you. Huh? Because even with all the saving, it doesn't make that much difference. Typical woman, right? It's not about being a woman or a man, is it? Maybe. But I think saving is pointless. That's it. You never care about the efforts I make for everyone's sake. When I serve leftovers, I get complaints, and I'm fed up with Susan and Mike too. Hey, I can't just let that go. But it's true. They're always asking for more allowance, call me stingy if I don't give, and then treat me like a maid. It can't be helped. You're a wife to me, but you can't be a mother to Mike. It's natural for mother-in-laws and daughters-in-law to have issues. What you're saying, they're just normal things, not really problems or something to discuss. You really think that way? I can't stand it, that's why I'm saying I've had enough. Don't say that. We can't pay the mortgage without you, can we? Yes, we need 2 incomes to pay it, don't we? If you know that, come back. No. I was against building that house. I clearly explained that our finances couldn't handle it, didn't I? Well, we can pay it off, can't we? We have Mike, after all. Relying on the child like that. What if he leaves home? Who will pay then? He won't leave home. You can't know that. You're worrying too much. Just like the thought of you leaving home, it's something that just can't happen. I don't understand how you can be so sure. Because we're married. As for the house, I know you were against it. But you were the only one. The other three of us agreed. It was a majority decision, so it's settled. Come back, or the mortgage will be a problem. You want me to come back because of the mortgage? Yeah, that's right. What other reason would there be? Nothing like I love you or I don't want to be apart. Such girly stuff? No way. Girly. Look, if we can't pay the mortgage, we'll lose the house. You don't want that, do you? Not really. Maybe it's better if it's taken away. Don't say that. It's tough already. You know how much trouble it would be if you're gone. Yes, I'm well aware. Especially since your company went bankrupt. That's right. You haven't told your mom about that yet? Of course not. Why would I? It would just worry her unnecessarily. While you're telling me to come back to help pay, you won't ask Susan for help? She's elderly, I can't ask her for that. And about the unpaid salary, any chance of getting it? No, that's unlikely. Eh? The boss skipped town. What? We all confronted him about the salary, but it seems hopeless now. When I went to the office today, he was gone, and the suppliers were panicking. Are you joking? You're almost $20,000 behind in salary, right? Can't help it. I'd make a fuss if it would help, but looks like I need to find another job. That's why I said you should have quit, instead of building a house. But I only heard the company was in trouble after construction started. Stopping midway would have disappointed Susan and Mike too. I'm the one who's disappointed. I know, that's why I went ahead with it. Not that kind of disappointed. I'm disappointed in your shallow thinking. So, let's work together as a couple. It feels more like I'm the only one working hard. That's not true. I don't have a job now, but I will find one. That's what people with job offers say. It's not settled for you. Don't be like that. And I'm tired of being treated like a maid. A housewife is kinda like a maid, isn't she? What? Susan was like that too, always busy in the kitchen. That's not the point. Maybe, but that's how I see it. Once Mike gets married, there will be 2 maids. Just hang in there until then. How could he say such a thing? A wife being treated like a maid as if it's normal. Kyle says let's work together, but it sounds more like you do all the work. Hey! Just because I'm working, it's taken for granted that I should give an allowance. I can't agree with that. That's petty. The one who works gives money to the one who doesn't. It's normal, right? The money I earn is for the future and living expenses of the family, not for handouts. You're worrying too much. Enough. I can't do this anymore. I don't see what's so unbearable. Maybe you don't understand. But I do. I've decided it's the right time. I'll mail the divorce papers later, and you can file them at the office. Complaining about no income since the company went bankrupt, that's heartless. If you had told the family everything when it went bankrupt, it wouldn't be a big deal if I left. How could I say that? Besides, I didn't, so it's okay. It's not okay, that's why I'm saying it. You'll have no place to live if you cancel the lease on that apartment, right? No, I've already secured another place to live. I want to live in a place suited for me. It's better to live comfortably within my means than to struggle with high expenses. That's too soon. Plan your spending, like the TV commercials say. I'm just being strategic. Too strategic. Kyle kept saying let's get back again and come back, but it was impossible, so I hung up. 3 months passed without a word from him. I thought maybe he had given up and was trying hard. But it turned out he wasn't. He had finally found a job, but it was just part-time, and he was struggling, now asking me for help. It's been a while, Sarah. Are you doing okay? Oh, Kyle. What about you? Are you okay? Yeah, sort of. You don't sound so sure. Well. Did you find a job? Yeah, kind of. You're really beating around the bush, aren't you? Actually, I've only been able to find part-time work. For the entire 3 months? No, just recently. What? I've been at home, jobless, all this time. So, you mean you haven't been working? Right. And Susan and Mike still don't know? No. I told them a week ago. What about until then? I said I was working from home. They believe that? Both of them? Yeah, when I said I switched to remote work, they just said it was something new. New? Yeah, remote work is becoming more common. Sure, but still, how much did they believe? I'm trustworthy, you know. Trustworthy. I don't think that's the point. How did you pay the mortgage for 3 months? From savings. So, you mean your savings are gone now? Yeah. You're taking this quite lightly. What can I do? Worrying won't help, and I don't want to go bald. Is that your concern? That's why I'm contacting you. I would have preferred to discuss this in person, but I don't know where you are. If you tell me your address, I can come over. No, don't come. That's harsh. We're still married, aren't we? Wait, we're not married, are we? We are. Why? I sent you the divorce papers. They must have arrived. Yeah, they arrived. But I didn't want to file them. So, we're sort of separated, but still married. It's not sort of. I told you I want a divorce. I don't want that. Without you, who will help me in tough times? Is that why you contacted me now? You figured it out. Good I didn't file for divorce, huh? Since we're married, you'll help me, right? What a person he is. Always trying to take advantage of me? Can you file the divorce papers quickly? I thought we were already strangers. It's a hassle to remarry. Let's just stay as we are. I'm not planning to remarry. Don't say that. I'm really in trouble here. All I can do is sigh. Is he shameless or just hopelessly optimistic? So, when you told Susan and Mike you're working part-time, did they say they'd help? They were angry I didn't tell them sooner. That's understandable. So, did they agree to help? They said it's a tough situation. So, did they say they'd help? Yes or no? No. I thought as much. I never thought those two would come together to make an effort. But at least Kyle is Susan's son. I had a little hope they wouldn't say he had to handle everything alone, but it seems my expectations were completely shattered. So basically, only you need to work hard? Well, can't help it. I'm the head of the family. If I don't work, no one else will. Susan is 70 years old, and their son, Mike, is still in high school. But that doesn't mean they can't do anything. Are you saving money? You're not still living luxuriously, are you? We're not living in luxury. Insisting on having 3 dishes for a meal? That's only natural. You don't feel like you've eaten without at least 3 dishes, right? Not eating leftovers. That's natural too. Leftovers are just waste. What about lunch? Eating out? Yeah, we do. Are you kidding? With no money, why would you allow that? Can't help it. Mom says she prefers it that way. That's just wanting to live luxuriously. Mom worked hard when I was a kid. I want to make life easier for her now. But you don't have the means for that. That's why I'm asking you for help. Come on, Sarah, help me out, please. No matter how much you ask, I've decided to divorce. I don't want to continue with someone who has such an unreasonable lifestyle. If you don't file the divorce papers soon, I'll demand alimony. Sorry. That's a problem. I'll go to the office and file them tomorrow. Once you've filed them, don't involve me ever again. Okay, but please, help me out. Kyle understood but actually didn't. Until the very end, he kept asking for my help. But I couldn't bring myself to help them, living so recklessly and still not wanting to change their lifestyle. About a month later, I got a call from Susan. Kyle has disappeared. Are you hiding him? I don't know. You must know. What happened? That boy wasn't working. He didn't tell us the company went bankrupt, just said he was working from home. When he finally admitted he only found part-time work, he disappeared. Now we can't pay the mortgage. That's tough. Why are you talking like it's none of your business? This happened because you left the house. I didn't leave on a whim. I said I wouldn't move with you, and you agreed. If you were here, we could have paid the mortgage. I'm not sure about that. Even with me there, nothing would have changed unless Kyle found a job. If you were here, we could have at least paid the mortgage. With the way you were living luxuriously without saving, even I couldn't have paid it. Why did he leave? Did you say something to corner him? I didn't say anything like that. I just told him what would we do since he only works part-time. He's the only one who can work. That would make anyone want to leave. There's no spirit of helping each other in the family. That's pointless to say now. Well, true. I don't know where he is. We're family, you should know. Huh? I'm divorced, we're not family anymore. Lies? Oh, Kyle didn't tell you that? I haven't heard. I thought you would help us out in a pinch. Oh, that's absolutely not happening. How could you? Why are we divorced? The reason is your and Mike's selfishness. Don't say that, please help. I'll do anything. I refuse. What a terrible woman you are. Mike's voice came through, hurling insults at me, so I hung up. Kyle never returned. Eventually, Susan made a tough decision and sold the house. But even after selling it, there was some mortgage left. She moved to a rundown apartment and did odd jobs and part-time work as much as she could. But the strain was too much, and she eventually became bedridden. When Mike, not knowing what to do, asked her for advice, she said, "Ask Sarah for help," and he came to me. Help me. A dejected Mike. Are you working a part-time job? No. What about school? I'm going. So, you're just trying to take the easy way out. Impossible. Come back when you've really hit rock bottom. What do you mean? Why are you continuing in a private high school with no money? No one will help someone who doesn't work a part-time job and just asks for help. That's harsh. Dad said I should at least finish high school. That doesn't mean it has to be a private school. You could transfer to a correspondence course. You should be able to work while studying. It's too easy to expect help without doing anything yourself. That's tough. Mike had thought he would get help, but he was told he was being naive and left. He actually dropped out of high school and started working in a factory. Now, he is living a modest life while working. When I saw him on the street the other day, he had a refreshingly clear expression I had never seen before. In my heart, I cheered him on, "Keep it up."